pawn structures in the game of chess is how the game is defined, how is it being played, and how the games will be progressing. The plans will be created, the plans be formed, and how this game continues from openings, middle games, whatever. But you want to have also keen attention what the pawn structure tells you to do and how to play against certain things, as well as define your game plan of the game. So this first concept is about the pawn chain. So pawn chain is really giving a big old hint of what to do, where the pieces go, how to maneuver, and ultimately how to win the game. So first of all, we see the white pawns are this structure. Basically, you can just say that the pawn structure is this way or this way. But mainly in this first defense opening, the pawns and attacks and the pieces are going to be aiming the king side this way. But more obviously is a black queen side attack right here, because the pawns point to the side that they have more space. Therefore, we have a hint of where black wants to aim. So, well, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be really juicy right now. So if the g4 happens, then now b5, really cool move, and it's really effective. So they take the pawn b5, of course, but then rook b8, and this game will be really dynamic, and black has an easy way to attack the white king, and white will be scrambling to do anything fast enough. And black is already better here, but the plan stays the same based on the pawn structure. Concept number 2 is this one. It's about misunderstanding that double pawns can actually be a benefit. Immediately, all the beginners will say, no, that's not possible. Double pawns are always bad. Never get them. The thing is, this game is Hikaru Nakamura's white against Magnus Carlsen's black, and Magnus Carlsen actually used double pawns to beat Hikaru Nakamura. And let's see how he does it, because he played in this London system opening bishop d6, and Hikaru just took in d6, pawn takes d6, and eventually Magnus Carlsen was able to use the fact that they have 3 center pawns, and basically this sort of plan of d5 and just cover this hole on e5 with d6. Possible e5s are coming, and eventually Magnus Carlsen was able to use this factor of covering the center extra to win the game. Is this one? And it's black's move, and he took an e3. So it's really not that hard to see which move to do. There's 2 good moves and 1 bad move, I'll say. So there's 3 ways to capture on e3 back: the queen, the rook, and the pawn. So what 2 are good and 1 is not good? Let's say bad, really bad, pawn structure concept wise. So, well, the queen and the rook can take any 3, no problem at all. But the pawn takes an e3 instead. They have a problem from white that have pawn islands, too many pawn islands. The more pawn islands you have, the worse off you're having your position to be, because you have more possibilities of having weaknesses onto the pawns like this one, and a lot of worse endgame chances. This is a fine example of important pawn structure concepts that everybody should know. This one is talking about a backwards pawn and how to handle it and win it. I'll show you this game that was played by Michael Adams, a grandmaster. This is a British Championship, a tournament. So Michael Adams effectively slowly grind down, turn up the temperature for every move to just eventually black have to give up the e6 pawn by force. First thing that we want to notice about combating backwards pawn is to control the square in front of it directly. So this, namely, e5 square. So now we have a really good job about controlling this one, knight, rook, and pawn. But let's do turning up at the notch about the temperature. 95, just occupying the square and also attacking the rook. So 2 for 1 sort of deal, really effective. So rook f4 is played, Now queen e2. And the next plan, the Michael Adams, what's going to do is like triple up on the e file. Other pressure problems to deal with. So rook c7, possible dreams of this one, or maybe just in general, making the rook do something, not the 8th rank, because, well, it's hard to do something because the knight, this one cannot move. It has to be just watching this pawn for a long time. So after rook c7, then to f3, and the plan is for Michael Adams is to go eventually g3, attacking the rook and king d2. Basically just defending this one, relieving the pawn from doing this guard duty, and maybe actually controlling dark squares on f4 in particular. So after rook f5, anticipating the g3 move, then rook e1, knight g7, just getting away from this useless c7 square. Maybe something in king side will come up, but honestly, there's no sort of cohesive plan for black, and he's basically shuffling and just hoping that he can draw, maybe. But now, Michael Adams has a plan of g3, like we talked about earlier, bishop e7, king g2, always improving your pieces, queen c8. Now, that queen e2 is basically every time the cool method thing that Michael Adams does is having lingering threats. Not direct threats, you can do that as well, but lingering threats. At any moment that the rook can go to e2 and also attack this pawn. So black doesn't want to worry about that, so rook e2 happens anyway. Queen d8, because no lack of ideas. h4, and black can't have them have any pawns, so h5 happens. And now the cool thing that we arrange the pieces in such a way that we put on more pressure. How much more pressure? Yeah, we'll see, because the plan is that he wants to go knight f e5, just replace that one there, and also knight f4 to h3, knight f3, and one on g5. It's a really cool deep plan, and black has nothing to say about it because white has unlimited time to do this sort of arrangement. So rook f7 for now is throwing at the knight rather, an f3, but now just knight f e5 like we wanted to, and also attacking the rook. So we have to do a move again with that rook. So basically wasting time, but still the plan executes without disturbing. So knight f4, queen c8, just waiting for the slaughter. Knight h3, king g8, and now we have this cool plan of rook e3 and rook there, and maybe queen e1 to do an 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐿, basically the perfect sort of tripled up attack on the e6 pawn. So after queen 7, first of all he goes knight f3 to maybe go to g5 with either knights. So now rook f7, but we're still good. We have the king and the rook defend this one, and also we want to make sure that we don't blunder this one, because this one will be, well, maybe pressurized a little bit later. I don't want to have to worry about this knight being paralyzed in h3, so why not just do this one before this sort of things happen. So after rook 7 f6, still then we go knight f g5, just basically dancing the queen, just waiting for something to happen. And now we have the ideal situation of the rooks and the queen. Bishop b6, basically in this point there's no way to adequately defend this pawn e6, and black decides to just get it this way and just slows the pawn, and eventually white has enough basically activity and chances to win the game, and then he does that in an effective way. Hey, check this video out to make sure that you get more important information to bring your chess to the next level.